Story from Rwanda, where a homegrown travel startup is taking on the American online rental firm Airbnb. The hospitality platform Bongalo was founded in Cameroon and lists properties in Rwanda and that country as well. And with Google pouring more than $300,000 of equity-free funding into the business, the platform plans to launch in 4 other African countries in 2022 and 20 other countries within the next 5 years. So is it really Africa's answer to Airbnb? Let's go to Kigali now and speak to Bongola's founder even, that is Minwi Fong Nom Bong Bong. Thank you so much for joining us on the program this morning. That's quite a comparison, isn't it, to say that you could rival Airbnb, a multi-billion-dollar business, but could we see that happening?
Yes, good morning, and thank you for having me on the program. Absolutely, Bungalow is on the rise, and we are actually going to be the next big thing in Africa, standing by Airbnb, basically. So we are really ambitious and working very hard to make this dream come true, because we are working hard to, expand our tentacles across the entire African continent. This is a market that is not really penetrated by the big brands from the West, because they don't see it as a very huge market for them. They invest more. Like the CEO of Airbnb once said that the Paris market alone is way, gets enough revenue for them than the whole of Africa, which shows how much they're not investing
Yeah.
a lot on the African market. And we are here to show that there's another story to that, statement.
Are we seeing across Africa, I'm sure we are, aren't we? We're slightly slowed down because of the pandemic, a lot of internal tourism and a lot of people who will look at your company and say, yeah, this is exactly what we need when we're traveling. We need apartments now. We don't want hotels.
Yeah, that is perfect. So basically, you can see that from the travel, trajectory that has come up recently. People who are more looking into homes that they can stay for, and not just in hotels. With the effects of COVID and more long-term affordable, stays, instead of just very many expensive hotels. And then group travel also has been pushed by, the use of apartments is really on the growth. So you can see that already across the continent.
Do you worry, though, that if your business becomes successful, that will be the moment when Airbnb says, okay, we don't need to just focus on the Paris market. Actually, Africa could make us a lot of money, and then you will have stiff competition?
Well, then that would be great, because it would just prove that we did something wonderful. And then before the focusing on the African market, that would be the point where we would be seen as the first comers, in the sense that we established the roots on the continent. And any other new person, they've been there before us. But for us to actually, kind of stabilize or consolidate our position in the African market would be an advantage to us at that point.
Do you need more money? I mean, $300,000 of equity from Google is useful, but in the world of finance, you need more than that, don't you?
No, we need a lot of money, actually. So that money, it's, by the way, Google only finance us, not entirely cash, but some also in kind. So we also need money. We're raising funds in the next 3 to 6 months already. So we are opening our seed round for funding to be able to expand to other African countries where we have plans to go. By the end of this year, we need funds.
Final question to you. Is the infrastructure in place for an African Airbnb?
Absolutely. The infrastructure is quite in place. So what we do is also, as a means of differentiation, we've got the payout and payment methods that truly work for the African continent, which is mobile wallet payments, really highly penetrated on the African continent. And that alone is a good, it's a big infrastructure that the fintechs have provided that we're using. And then the establishments in terms of the apartments that we having listed on our platforms are quite ready. They have even come up and have more and more, stability just than regular hotels. So the infrastructure is quite in place, and the travel infrastructure also is in place. COVID has not had a big impact on the African continent as it's been in Europe and America. So travel, it hasn't really died here.
Well, yeah. Well, let's hope that travel continues. We're actually going to be talking about the impact of COVID on Africa very shortly. But listen, good luck to you. Hopefully we'll be talking to you in a few years' time with a very successful business. They're Minwi Fong Nombong Wong. They're on what could be Africa's answer to Airbnb.
Now let's go to